Flips. Let's talk about some flips. So flips, you can make a lot of money. You can make no money. You can be it can go either way for you. You've done a few flips. I'm looking to do my first one actually coming up as well. We see a lot of clients who've done flips, been successful with them. What do you think about flips? What's the best way to get the deals? What do you strategize?
Best thing about flips is obviously you're in and out, right? So you're not going to build a lot of wealth off flips unless you have a legitimate system in place to get them and just disperse them and get them and disperse, acquire, dispose, all that kind of stuff. Nice thing is you can make large sums of money fairly quickly, right? But the problem is, I think out of every investment out there, it's probably the most desirable, strictly because as human beings, nobody likes to wait. We are a very now society. So with that being said, everybody wants to flip. Everybody and their parents and their uncle, everybody wants to flip. The one who is the most successful is the one who finds the deals and really goes after them. So as far as the advantages, we've talked briefly, you're going to be in and out. So say you close on a property, let's say you have 90 days for to get it all done up and you got 90 days to sell, and then that's 6 months. You can the really good flippers can be in and out of something within 3 to 4. My most successful one, you're in it in 3 months, right? 3.5, 4 months. But that's tough, right? It's not easy. You got to have things lined up and ready to go as you get that property, permits taken, everything done, and it's got to be done well. Some of the disadvantages are, you're losing money every day it doesn't sell. So you really have a window to make money. It's not guaranteed that just because you buy something that you're going to make money at the end of the day. Carrying costs will get you, and they will chip away at you pretty quickly. So most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to flips is finding the deal. Okay, first and foremost, knock some doors, make some calls, run some ads, but other than that, you can get all the deals you want. And I know, we've recently been through this. If you don't ink the deal and you don't do it, and you second guess yourself, you will lose that very quickly. Because typically you're gonna be finding a motivated seller, right? That's what it is. And that doesn't always mean you're taking advantage of someone. What that means is that they're motivated. You could probably help them out of their position. There's many times where people, for instance, maybe they just do not care about getting every penny for their home. Estate sales, what if there's 6 kids and they're each, divvying up the pie at the end of the day between 6 people? Well, $60,000 is really only $10,000 to each of them. Not only that, but it's not, sometimes it's hard for people to understand, but it's not about the money to every single person. Some people just don't care to have their house listed. They just want it sold quickly. Now, some people are motivated and they really need out of that problem. Maybe it's a job switch. Maybe they're leaving, they just listen, I just got a great job, take my house now, whatever. Maybe there are absolute horrible tenants. The house is destroyed. They do not even have the mental capacity to go there and get them out. Never mind doing the renovations. Who knows what you're going to find? How old is the structure? You can always. I've never used this method, but I'm sure you can go to the courthouse and find disgruntled landlords. There's times when I've wanted to sell my property. If somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, I'll give you this today," and they actually had a check in hand and an agreement, I probably would have signed it, because you can be very disgruntled as a landlord. So that's a couple ways to find deals, but finding deals comes down to building a system and obviously effectively doing the system that you've built. So doing the activities, much like in real estate, if you make the calls and you meet with the people, you knock on the doors, you're going to find people that want to sell. For flips, it's going to be a much smaller market, so you're probably going to have to do a lot more of it, right? So, or just be known as that person, and maybe get some referrals from people you've helped out in the past. You could talk to trustees and that kind of stuff. You could talk to lawyers, anybody who might have some kind of in on that. So that's finding the deal. Advantages, you're in and out. You can make a lot of money very quickly. You can make a few $100,000 in the first year doing it if you find enough deals. Disadvantages, you do have to know what you're doing. You got to know how much money to, put in. You got to know how much money, not to put. You need to know where to put your money into the house. You need to which things sell the house. You should probably have it staged. You don't want to be selling vacant homes. There are a lot of costs. You need a lot of upfront money, because typically you're going to be spending 20% to get this house. And then obviously, you know, any renovation costs, right? Now, one benefit is you can typically do one, you know, maybe 2 in a year the first time you do it and get tax-free. If it's your principal residence, take advantage of that. I mean, there's no way to get tax-free income out there. Well, move into a house and you know, when your life situation changes a little bit, move to another one. Builders do it all the time. You know, I mean, I did that in my principal residence. I mean, I had to move, I had kids. I did well on mine, right? I had to make those moves. But I mean, you can't get into the business of doing that and not claiming it because, I mean, they will get you. The government, you owe the government capital gains. I mean, that's a whole nother ball of wax. And it's not always a capital gain. You know, sometimes it's your income. If you're doing it as a business, they will charge you as it's your income. So doing it in a company and all that kind of stuff, again, is a whole nother topic. But so you've got to have a basic understanding of tax when it comes to that as well, right? So these are things that I can help anybody with and would love to kind of shed my advice on. But again, as far as flipping goes, I mean, we're very realistic. We tell people, like, you know, we can look for you, we can send you vacant homes, we can send you anything on the market. If you want to make money flipping property, you're probably not going to be working full time with a real estate agent. As simple as that. You know, you're not going to make a career out of this on the MLS. You might find a few in the winter every year. You know, you might find one. I know we had a client who did one this year and he was really successful. You know, we actually found the deal for him. You know, I found it from cold calling, and it was a situation where both parties were happy and did okay on it. But it doesn't happen every day. You know, if you want to get them, you got to go get them, and you got to really go after them. So advantages, quick money. Disadvantages, you know, timing. You got to be in and out very quick, and obviously, you know, having a good understanding of construction, and you know, that's pretty much it. You got to find the deal, you got to finance it, get in and out fast. Otherwise, you're going to lose money every single day you hold that property, because a lot of times it's financing. One last thing we'll touch on. Don't be so concerned about the rate. Be more concerned, and this is I almost missed, it's very important. Work with a B lender. Work with somebody who's not going to charge you to sell the property. Open mortgage, because it doesn't matter if you're paying 15% and you're only holding it for 3 months. That's better than paying 2.6% and paying a $10,000, $12,000 discharge fee, depending on how quickly you can get in and out, right? Like a 10% on $100,000 is $10,000, right? Like, you're not going to hold it for 12 months, so you're not going to pay that, right? The quicker you are, you could afford, literally, if you're finding a good enough deal, to pay 30% interest. If you're finding a good enough deal, you know, and you're putting enough down. Like, there are lenders out there and people that do this full time, and they will do that. You know, find somebody you know with money, who's got money making, you know, 3% in an RSP or you know, a GIC, 2.3%. Tell them, listen, I'll pay you 15%, but you gotta find the deal. You find a deal, I mean, I'll finance it, not myself, but I can find you money. Anybody will do it, right? It's just about getting the deal, right? That's the hardest part. You find the deal. Money's very easy to come by if you have a $50,000, $60,000 deal sitting there and you're willing to split it with someone. Everyone's got money at that point, you know what I mean? So that's very important too. Don't be worried about the rate, because the rate has no bearing on how much, well, a little bit obviously. You don't want to pay, you don't have to pay, but it's just not that important. And people have a hard time recognizing that because they're so used to resale, and you hear the rates are bottom dollar, but it doesn't matter if paying a big discharge fee.